Okay, so let's start. So see guys, I was explaining about the direction and direction here, all done. So here you see vectors are given directly in IJK form. So if you can add them directly, so your resultant force F will be nothing but a vector quantity like this, A and B. Directly you add 2I, you add with I, so it will be 3I, and this is the solution part. And this 3J and minus J, if you will add, you'll be getting plus 2J, right? So this what you are seeing here. This is the final force acting on the particle. Okay, now they are asking what is the resultant force. So we got here what is the resultant force. But one more thing, we need to know what is the direction. So now you understand right here how to bother about direction. I will explain. See, suppose this is the particle, and on this particle your force A means vector A is acting and force B means vector B is acting, and now there will be some resultant, right? So that resultant you will draw like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. How will you draw the resultant? Correct. So suppose I am choosing a vector which is looking like this. So this is my final force F. Now this final force F, if you will draw on XY axis, then from x-axis at how much angle it is passing, or from the y-axis at how much angle it is passing. So this force F we have got as 3I plus 2J. So 3I plus 2J cap you should put. Now see here, it means this unit is your 3 unit and this unit is your 2 unit, right? So you can give two types of directions. Suppose this is alpha, this is beta. So you can say, okay, tan alpha I can find out using 2 by 3, and tan beta I can find out using 90 degree minus tan inverse 2 by 3, or only the beta, or you apply tan beta concept from the trigonometry. I mean, either you subtract after finding out alpha, you can subtract, or you find out beta directly. How will you find beta directly? 3 unit by 2 unit. So this is how we will bother about the direction of the vectors, right? Okay, now we have learned, okay, how to add the vectors, and we have learned about the directions. Now we'll understand how to subtract. So subtraction is nothing but, okay, so take the heading as ask it out. Yes. If correct. There is actually that part is not mentioned in the question, that from which axis we are looking for the direction. I mean, what kind of question they will frame? They are simply asking direction of motion of the point if A and B present a forces. So student can give direction of the resultant force from vector A also, or some students can give from vector B also. Now if the same question they are framing in MSQ in GATE exam, then they may give both the directions. Direction from A is this much, direction from B is this much, right? Or they may give some wrong directions also, like that. Okay, I will change the page. Okay, now you see, I was about to explain subtraction of two vectors. Now see what is this. Suppose you have one vector like this, and this vector I am saying A is equal to 2I minus 3J, and I have some another vector somewhere, I don't know where it is, some vector B. Now this vector is suppose 2I plus 4J. Now I want to subtract both the vectors. Now what is subtraction? So see here, when you are going to subtract both the vectors, now see 3 plus 4 or 4 plus 3, they have same sense, but 3 minus 4 or 4 minus 3, they are not same, right? So whenever we are subtracting, we have to make sure which vector is being subtracted from which vector. Okay, so point 1, if you are looking for vector A minus vector B, okay, so this has a different physical sense. So first understand that what is the physical sense. Actually, this, whenever we discuss subtraction of vector, we apply addition formula only, but with inversion. I will tell you what my point. So actually this A minus B, what you are seeing here, this equal to, you can write as vector A, you are going to add with minus vector B. Now see what is the beauty. When you will put the minus sign, then direction of vector B will change, right? So suppose vector A is given like this, and if you are going to draw this vector B, I will copy from here. This is my vector B, and this is my vector B. Just wait. Yeah, this is my vector B. Okay, now if I will write, if I will draw this line, if I will draw this line, then this line will be A plus B line, means this will be representing the addition. Okay, but we are not looking for that line. We are looking for minus B line. Minus B line means this blue vector is in this direction, so reverse the direction, means do this direction. Okay, in that case, this will be your A plus vector minus B, right? So, or you can simply say A minus B. This will be your vector. So the upper triangle what you are seeing here, upper means this triangle what you are seeing here, this triangle, this will be the right triangle for A minus B. Okay, so or if you want to go through geometry, so this is what you have to do. Or if you want to go algebraically, like with the numerics, then you know how to do. A minus B, you will simply write as A value, you write 2i minus 3, just simple one, minus B, put the bracket 2i plus 4j, and then you solve this, some answer will come. Okay, some answer will come. Okay, one thing, whenever you are finding out A plus B, like this black line what you have seen here, this black line was A plus B, and when you are finding out A minus B means this line, so it is not necessary that they will be perpendicular. No, it is not at all necessary that these two will be perpendicular. No, it is not necessary. If in any question or somewhere you are seeing that they look like perpendicular, then it is just a what to say in English, coincident, that they are this thing, perpendicular or orthogonal. Okay, otherwise it is not hard and fast rule that they have to be perpendicular. No. Okay, so this is what we'll discuss at subtraction. So addition is not that much important because we understand how to add. In same way, subtraction is no need to pay more attention, because I understand everyone is having good basic on these two topics. But when we will go to the product, then that is important. Then you will feel that somewhat we are doing this thing. Mutually perpendicular term means, Vedant, perpendicular to each other. Mutually perpendicular means one is like this and one is like this. So this guy is also perpendicular to this, and this guy is also perpendicular to this. So whenever you say perpendicular, then actually already they are mutually perpendicular. Okay, and suppose it's like, suppose we have one line like this, and we have one line like this, and we have one line like this. So you see, these two are perpendicular, these two are perpendicular, so they all are mutually perpendicular. Clear? Simple. Vedant, clear, right? Okay, very good. Okay, I'll change the page and we'll go for the product. Okay guys, join again. I'll cancel the meeting. Let them join. Done? Everyone is here? Okay, let's start. Okay. Guys, actually I didn't explain how do we find out magnitude of any vector. Just I will add here. Suppose any vector A is given as 2i plus 3j minus 4k. Suppose like this. Then magnitude means the length of this vector, or simple A. That is nothing but Pythagoras, right? So 2 square plus 3 square plus this minus 4 square. Okay, so this is nothing but the length of the vector. Okay, but not the direction of the vector. Direction of the vector will be a different thing. If you want to analyze direction of this vector in 3D, you have to think where this vector is pointing out. So it's like, just imagine, let's imagine this vector. Suppose this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. So you do one thing, cut two units here, and cut 3 units here, and suppose this is negative direction for the z. So suppose cut 4 units here. Now actually you have to come to the 3D space. like, because see, it will come out of the screen. The coordinate, what is 2 comma 3 comma minus 4, this coordinate will come out of the screen. Get my point, right? That coordinate will come out of the screen. I cannot draw here, but I will just try to draw. Suppose this is the point which is out of the screen in the air. Okay, so that is lying exactly at this location, that is lying exactly at this location, and that is lying exactly at this location. Okay, so it means what? Your vector is pointing like this. Now in this case, when you have 3D case, then how will you give the direction? Then actually in this case, if they are asking direction of this guy, direction of this guy from the x-axis, it means you have to give this angle between the vector and the angle, and direction from the y means vector this and this, direction from the z means angle this and this, right? So these things we use, if you remember, we used to study in 3 dimension, 3D vectors, right? We used to study in 3D vectors in our 11th 12th class. You remember? Okay, anyway, that is not important here, like direction, cosines, direction, those things. Okay, now come to the point. Here simply I didn't take this in previous chapter, so I am taking now. So that's all. Now we'll go for the multiplication part. So if the vector is given in 2D, then you remove the third part, you only go for 2D. Let's start the multiplication part. So guys, whenever we are learning multiplication of vector, in that case we should go for 2 types of multiplications, two types of product. 2 types of product we have. Actually, see, why do we have 2 types of product? Actually, math is nothing but a tool to solve physical problems, to solve physics problems and chemistry problems, right? I mean science problems. So in physics, what happens? See, after this video, I have made some videos already on vectors and position vectors and those things. Those videos I will add in the playlist. So you should watch those videos also on vector. They are additional knowledge. Your vector will be very strong after that. Okay, now get my point. Why do we have 2 vectors only, 2 types of products only? Why do we have? Because in physics we have whenever we have any physical any equation in physics, that equation will be like, in that equation suppose f is equal to ma is one equation. Suppose you can consider another equation like tau is equal to r cross f, another equation. Or suppose you can consider distance is equal to speed into time. What is difference between all the 3 equations? You see here, in this equation, this is also a scalar quantity, this is also a scalar quantity. Means what? We are multiplying 2 scalar quantities. So whenever you multiply 2 scalar quantity, answer is obviously very much obvious, is scalar quantity. But when you are multiplying one scalar quantity with a vector quantity, then this scalar quantity will just change the size of the vector. It will not change the direction of the vector. It will only change the length of the vector, the size of the vector, correct? For example, if my acceleration is given by suppose I plus j, it means your particle is accelerating exactly in this direction, right? Your particle is accelerating exactly in this direction, and with how much magnitude? I mean to say, with how much meter per second square? So for that you have to find out the acceleration of the particle. That is nothing but under root 1 square plus 1 square, that's under 2, right? So under root 2 meter per second square is the acceleration of the particle. So that is here, right here. But if you want to know what is the force acting on the particle, so in that case you have to multiply m here. Suppose mass is some 5 kg, so multiply 5 here and 5 here. Then what will happen? This will be 5i plus 5j force, correct? Now this force, how will you draw? So on this force is nothing but the same line will increase 5 times, correct? You can see here, direction did not change. That's why in which direction you have resultant force, in same direction body will accelerate. Okay, body accelerates in which direction? In the direction of force, right? Okay, so this is the idea. Okay, but you see there is third type of equation. In this equation both people are vector quantities. Both are vector quantities. Now I will give one more type where you have your W is equal to vector F dot vector D. Now first you focus on this tau is equal to R cross F. Here you have both the vectors, right? R is also a vector, F is also a vector, but the final product is a torque. Torque is a vector quantity. Get my logic? Who is producing the final answer? Nature is producing the final answer. We are not producing the final answer. Okay, we are just analyzing whatever has happened in the universe, whatever phenomena is happening in the universe. Means when you will cross multiply R cross F, then you will be getting a new property in physics, and that property will be torque. Torque is another vector quantity. But again, same two vectors, if you will multiply the dot product, then you will be getting work done. But work done is scalar property. Okay, so so here you are trying to understand that there are some conditions when we are multiplying vectors and I am getting vector quantity. So we need some mathematical tool to judge this kind of phenomena. And you can see here when we are multiplying the force and displacement, then we are multiplying in such a way that we are getting work done, and that is scalar. So we need that procedure, that tool also. That's why we have to learn in mathematics two types of products. I'll change the page. So you go for, yes Vedant, any doubt? All good, right? Okay. Okay, now you see, go for the first type of product, that is scalar product. Actually, what is scalar product? So suppose when you have a vector A and when you have vector B, and this symbol what I'm writing here, this symbol we say dot. Okay, so scalar product is also known as dot product, and sometimes you also say this inner product. Okay, so when we have scalar product, then you will be getting a final answer that will be, suppose any answer I'm saying as R answer. So this R will be scalar quantity. Scalar means in the answer I, J, K term will not come. Okay, and this kind of vector product is helpful to find out angle between two vectors. How? See, whenever you have scalar product, so we take advantage of that. What advantage we take? We write A dot B is equal to A B cos theta. Now see the difference here. What is this A and what is this A? This A is the pure vector which will be given in terms of I, J, K, like 2i plus 3j plus whatever. And in same way, this B also. But this A is the magnitude of the vector A, and this B is magnitude of vector B. And what is theta here? Theta is the angle between both. So based on this, we'll take one example. See the example. The example is, suppose you have vector A is equal to 2i plus 3j. Okay, I'm going back. Take down. Take down properly. Done. Okay. Now you see, suppose you have any vector A and you have another vector B, and this another vector considered as I minus J. Okay, now I want to find out A dot B. See, that is different case. What will be the answer? That answer will represent any physical quantity or not. That is different issue. That is physical issue. We are not going to understand that A is some property and B is some property, and we are multiplying A and B so that we are getting dot product and some answer will be getting. Then what will be the name of the answer? For example, if this is force, this is displacement, then this answer will be known as work. But here I am not giving you physical quantities. Here I am giving you just how to multiply and what is the significance. Okay, so you can see A dot B, when you will do, then what is the procedure? You just multiply this 2 with this 1, because 1 is there, right? Coefficient. So 2 into 1, and then plus this 3 and this minus 1. So 3 into minus 1. Coefficient of I with coefficient of I, coefficient of J with coefficient of J, and if coefficient of K is also there, then coefficient of K with also coefficient K. Okay, so now you are getting 2 here minus 3 here. You are getting some answer as minus 1. You can clearly see that scalar quantity is coming as negative. No problem at all. Okay, now if I will add, so suppose I want to find the angle between both the vectors. This is the question. A is equal to this, B is equal to this. Find angle between both vectors. Then how will you find out? So to find out the vectors, so to find out the angle between both, you use this formula. A dot B is equal to AB cos theta. Okay. So your first job is, very good Vedant, you go for A dot B. So A dot B already we have calculated as -1. Then you go for the A value and you go for the B value. A value is nothing but under root 2 square plus 3 square into B value is nothing but -1 square, sorry, plus 1 square plus -1 square, right? I hope I'm not doing a mistake, into cos theta. Then you solve this part here. So 4 plus 9 into what will come here? Under root 2 will come here. And then cos theta will come here. Then this 4 plus 9, if you add it, it will be under root 13. So under root 13 and under root 2, if you multiply, under root 26, right? So you will be finding out cos theta value. So cos theta value will be -1 by 26. So after that, you can find out theta value is nothing but -1 by, sorry, cos inverse something cos inverse -1 by 26. This will be your formula. This will be your final answer, theta. What is theta here? Theta is the angle between both the vectors. Theta is the angle between both the vectors. It means when you will draw one vector like this, another vector like this on geometry, like when you will draw these two vectors exactly on the geometry, then automatically angle will be this much, what we are calculating here. So you can put this angle in the this thing calculator and you can find out the exact angle between both the vectors. Okay. Now you see, here we are understanding what is the advantage of dot product and how do we do dot product. In same way, I will change the page. We have something called cross product. Now in cross product, what do we do? In cross product, whenever you are doing, the answer will come again as a vector quantity. This is the main difference between dot and cross. So this cross product, also known as vector product. Now see, sometimes students will be confused. Vector product is also sound like multiplying two vectors. No. Vector product is like, don't feel that sound that we are multiplying two vectors. Vector product is currently representing cross product. So I will take same example. A is equal to, what was the vector I have taken? 2i plus 3j. So 2i plus 3j, and vector B I have taken I minus j. Put cap, don't forget to write cap here. Otherwise, see, anyway, you are not going to write university exam. So even though if you miss the cap, they will not cut the number, the marks, okay? But you should, I can do mistake, but you should not do mistake, okay? Put caps. Okay, now go ahead. You go for A cross B, guys. So always remember, again, there is a big challenge. Challenge is, like I said, if you add 3 plus 4, no problem. If you add 4 plus 3, they will be same answer. But if you subtract 3 minus 4 and 4 minus 3, there is a problem. Problem is sign. In same way, if you do A cross B, as I said, cross product will give you another vector quantity. So that vector quantity will be a vector quantity. So vectors are having directions. So it means what? If you will find out B cross A, then your answer will be different because your direction will be different. So let's understand this. How will you calculate A cross B? So there are two ways to calculate A cross B. See here, A cross B and B cross A, if you want to calculate at a time to understand the difference. So there are two possibilities. First, I'm teaching you the matrix method. You put here I and J, and in the second row, you should put A value. In third row, you should put B value. Already first row is loaded with the IJK, right? And when you are finding out B cross A, then in first row IJ is fixed. Then cap you should put, guys, cap. And then when you are going for B cross A, then the second row is for B coefficients and the third row is for coefficients of A. Okay, so so I, J, 2 here and 3 here and 1 here and -1 here. Okay, and one mistake, because you have to consider K also. One mistake I am doing. you have to consider k also. So put here k value, and because k is not present in both, so put 0k and plus 0k. So put here 0 0. Okay, in same way here also you will put 0 0. So here I am putting b values. Put b values. So b values are nothing but 1, -1 and 0, and a values are 2, 3 and 0, right? Now you solve the matrix, means find out the determinant. Okay, so that determinant will be a value of a cross b. How will you find out determinant? So I am using a cross b. I am using this one. So I am choosing I. So if you will choose I, then leave this. So I will come there. So it will be 0, correct? Because both will be 0. Then you go for j. So j you write like -j. So in this case, again you leave. So it will be, what will be the answer? 0 0. Finish. 0 0. Now you take k plus k. So leave this. So multiply here. So you'll be having 3 and plus 2. So you'll be getting 5k, right? So 5k is the answer when you are finding out a cross b. 5k is the answer. And when you will be finding out b cross a, then opposite answer will come. Students, you do and verify this answer. How much answer is coming? Students, do and verify how much answer is coming. Text me right on the screen. Guys, how much your answer is coming? Very good. -5k will come. When you will solve this part, when you will solve this matrix, -5k will come. Okay. So -5k will come. See, two things you have to notice here. First thing, the answer what you are getting, that answer is a vector quantity. This is first thing you should notice. And now second thing, the answer what you are getting, that is perpendicular to xy plane. That is perpendicular. Yes, Vedant, ask you doubt. No, then there will be some mistake. Either in my solution. Five k is coming. Then it means my solution should be -k. Yes, correct. Then my solution should be, yes, very good guys, I understand now. My solution is a cross b value is -5k. So here you should get 5k. Okay, thank you guys. So you see I am doing mistake in hurry bari. So these kind of mistakes you may also do in GATE exam. So be aware. So first thing is the answer is vector quantity. Next analysis is the answer what we are getting, it is perpendicular to xy plane. Okay, means, get my point. I'll change the page. See, suppose this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis, and a vector and b vector are nothing but they are lying in this plane only, because this is also I and j, this is also I and j, right? So a and b, they are lying in xy plane. This is your xy plane, guys. This is your xy plane, right? Okay. Now when you are finding out a cross b, so because it is a vector quantity, so it will be having a direction, correct? So where will be the direction? So I will give the logic. You do one thing. You put a screw here. Okay, this is screw. And now rotate the screw from A to B. So it means what? Do like this. When you do like this, then you can see what will happen. Screw will come out. Right? Get my point. Screw will come out. So this is called direction of A cross B can be judged by screw rule. Okay, suppose if you are finding out B cross A, then you rotate your screw from B to A. B to A means like this. It means rotate your screw like this. So this screw will go inside. Okay, so if I will draw this vector A here and vector B here, then just get my logic. They are in plane. Okay, so there will be one vector that vector will be perpendicular to this plane like this, and opposite side also, both side. So this side will be A cross B and this side will be B cross A. So what I'm trying to say here, A cross B vector is perpendicular to the plane of AB. It means it is also perpendicular to B, it is also perpendicular to A. Then only it will be perpendicular to A cross B. Like whatever vectors are lying in XY plane, your A cross B vector will be perpendicular to both. Okay. Now based on this, we'll solve one question. Suppose, question, I am giving you vector A is equal to I plus j, vector B is equal to minus I plus 2j, vector C is equal to I plus 2j, and vector B cross C will be. Now you see, I'm asking vector B cross C will be. I'm giving you 4 options. Option 1, perpendicular to A. Option 2, perpendicular to B. Option 3, perpendicular to C. Option 4, perpendicular to B and C but not A. Option D, perpendicular to A but not to B and C. So guys, which option you choose? Consider this question is coming in MSQ, multiple select question in GATE exam. Okay, Pratik is choosing 4th option. Other students? Think on this, guys. Think on this. This is very good question. Think on this. Think. See, Prachi, you were saying me to take the class on live YouTube, right? So if I will take the live class, they cannot scribble on my screen. Anyway, they are not scribbling on my screen. They are not able to give the answer. Any other student? Any other student? Tick on the screen. Rujesh, Vedant, Pratik, at least you guys. So see, if this question is coming in MSQ, just now I told you guys, see this vector. Okay, we'll do one thing. Just do one thing. Think on this question. Think. It is very easy question. I don't want to explain the answer. It is very easy question. It is very easy question. You think on, then you reply, right? I'll change the page. Okay, text me in WhatsApp group about this answer. Which answer? What do you think about this? Okay, I'll change the page. Now, these are the basics of the vector. Like whatever vectors we understand just now, whatever I have explained, they are actually so much basic. So once the basics are very clear, then one last basic point is how to find unit vector. So for that, suppose if any vector is given A is equal to I plus j, and you want to find out A cap, so A cap represents the unit vector. So guys, trick, you remember a trick. So this concept I will explain by trick. So see, any vector contains 2 things. One thing is value, that we say modulus, that we say what do we say to this? Modulus of A, and or you can say magnitude of the A, or next thing is direction, correct? So if I am going to bother A cap is nothing but direction. direction, in which direction it is acting. A cap will give you that direction. Okay, so that direction, so get my point. If this entire property, just get the trick, if this entire property I will divide by its value, then value will get cancelled, I'll be remaining with direction. That's all. If you got the trick, then A cap is equal to whatever total vector is there, divide that total vector by its magnitude. This became the equation to find out direction of any cap, this direction of any vector. It will help you a lot. This trick will help you a lot. Okay, so this was the basic about the vector quantity. Now I'm going to discuss gradient, divergence and curl. That is also very important. So this divergence, gradient, divergence and curl we call as vector calculus. So just whatever I was teaching now, these things were basics of vector. They were not vector calculus. Now we'll start vector calculus. I will change the page. So now your fresh unit is vector calculus. In that we will understand gradient and then divergence and curl. So first you understand what is the meaning of gradient. So see, first thing, this operator is known as del. This operator is known as del, not Dell laptop. It is del, DEL, is an operator. This is an operator. Okay, so, and it is having its own value. The del is equal to I cap into dou by dou x plus j cap into dou by dou y plus k cap dou by dou z. Now question here, why are we using dou here? Why are we using dou here? Why are we using dou here? So simple answer, why are we not using d? Why are we not using d? In last class I told you, when your property depends on only one figure, on only one variable, then you should use a small d, like d by dx. But if your property depends on x, y, z or many things, then you should use dou, right? Very simple logic. Okay, so that's why in del operator we have dou. Next, what is the role of this del operator? Actually, this del operator can change any scalar field into a vector quantity. What does it mean? So suppose, example, you have any scalar quantity. Mostly guys, mostly in math or physics or something, whenever we have to represent velocity, we use v, correct? Whenever you have to use speed, we use v, u, v, right? Whenever we have to use temperature, we use small t or capital T. In same way, it is very convenient. It is convention whenever we have to use our scalar. MCQ question, answer? No. You don't ask now. I am not expecting answer from myself. You people should reply that. Or you do one thing, you go to YouTube again and you can comment there. And I know many people will not comment on YouTube also for this answer, because think, otherwise I will explain properly in the WhatsApp group. I will put the answer, but you take your time, at least tonight. Everyone think on this and give me settled answer, completely explained answer. Okay, this is final. Oh sorry, field scalar field, sorry, FIELD, scalar field. Okay, so you take one example. So I was saying that whenever there is a scalar field, right? So for that we use a very proper conventional symbol phi. So phi is a scalar field. So that field will be spreaded in xyz plane, right? So you can write this as phi. This phi is the function of xyz, and suppose that function is given as x square plus y square plus z square. So actually it can be anything. I will change the page. I have to explain something. Suppose, just copy down this. Suppose I am considering here any field. You will get my point what I will say. Suppose I am considering any field. This kind of diagram you might have seen somewhere. Suppose this is my field, and you can see, and this is a scalar property variation. Suppose this is any scalar field variation. So of course this variation I can judge on xyz plane. So suppose this variation I am trying to judge on xyz plane, x, y and z plane, right? So you can see, suppose I will put the just I'm putting a coordinate, x is equal to 2, y is equal to 1 and z is equal to -3, and suppose by using this coordinate I am reaching to this coordinate. Okay, so when you will keep on changing the value of xyz, then I will keep on shifting my coordinate. Now what is the physical meaning of gradient? What is the physical meaning of gradient? So you understood one thing first. Del is an operator. That operator will help you to convert your scalar quantity into vector quantity. But how and what is the physical meaning? Physical meaning is, see, actually you understand, whenever you have any area, that area, if you draw the perpendicular, then that vector we call as aerial vector, or you say area vector, correct? We call that. Okay, it means what? Now at every point here and here and here and here and here, at every point, wherever you go, at every point you can draw a perpendicular, correct? You can draw perpendicular. So that is nothing but your gradient. Suppose I want to find out gradient at this location. Then what will I do? Then I will use the del operator. So you will say as gradient of scalar, that is nothing but del phi, or you say grad phi, anything you say. This is nothing but, you see, this itself is having a value. That value you will put in the bracket. That is I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z, right? Okay. And don't forget to put I, j, k cap. And then phi value is also there. So that phi value you substitute in separate bracket, x square plus y square plus z square. Okay, now you get my point. Send this entire bracket, multiply here and multiply here. So what will happen? That d by this dou by dou x will differentiate this bracket, and you'll be getting I 2x, because y square z square will be 0. Okay, and plus this j, then this dou by dou y operator will differentiate the y square, so it will be 2y, right? And in same way you will be getting plus k times 2z. Now you see here, I got I here, j here and k here, right? It means the new answer what you have got, this new answer is representing a vector quantity. That vector quantity is nothing but this del phi. So this into phi, you put a bracket vector sign here, because now this is representing a vector quantity. Now this is a vector quantity, so it will be having a direction. So that direction is nothing but perpendicular, like over the surface, perpendicular over the surface. Yes, gradient of velocity potential, that is a good example. So it shows a normal direction over the given phi. You can write like this: grad phi vector shows normal direction, because finally it is a vector, na? Finally, in the last what we are getting? Finally we are getting a vector quantity. So this vector quantity will be having direction. So where the direction is? Perpendicular, right? Copy down this. So grad phi shows normal direction over a location of phi. So it means what? Now this grad phi itself is the function of x, y, z. So wherever you want, you can put x, y, z locations, I mean the coordinates, and you can find the exact vector. Loosely you can say like whatever gradient we find out, it converts scalar into vector. Loosely you can say, but this is not the reality. Reality is it will give the over, but reality is it will give you that. Yes, it is always. Yes, Vedant, don't be confused, always. And loosely you can say that it is converting a scalar into vector, but reality is it gives direction of normal at any specific location in the scalar field. Okay, now we'll go for what is the meaning of divergence. I hope this part is clear. Now we'll go for divergence. You should have the physical feel of gradient clear now. Location shows normal direction over a location of phi. Yes, Pratika, spit out. No. Actually, see, I'll explain. See in this way. Suppose umbrella. Good example. Suppose umbrella. I hope I will draw a good umbrella. And suppose this is you and this is your girlfriend. Okay, Pratik Pansare, okay? Happy? You are happy now? Now I am giving you girlfriend in real life. Okay, be happy now. So you guys are holding an umbrella together and you guys are going in rain. And you are singing this song, Suhana Safar or Ye Mausam Hasi. This song you are singing, okay? Now, suppose this is the girlfriend and this is the Pratik. So girlfriend is saying to Pratik, give me the location of normal at this location, at this point. Then Pratik will teach her, girlfriends, very cute. See, it's like, Pratik, what will you say to her? You will say, no, baby. Normal is always in y direction. You cannot find normal here. This is what you will say, right? No, but reality is not that. Actually, you can find out normal at this location in this direction, at this location in this direction, at this location in this direction. Pratik, are you getting now? Yes. Actually, that is nothing but suppose you have sphere. I'll draw the sphere. So suppose you have a sphere. Then actually normal at every location is coming the radius. The radius is always normal, right? Radius. So that is the idea. Yes. Okay. So just imagine if I will delete your girlfriend. I mean, if I will remove this diagram and the same thing, if I will the curve whatever I have given here, if the curve I will draw in xy plane, then this surface will be having an equation, right? Then that equation I can bother about the del phi. That will be a vector quantity, and in that del phi xyz will come finally. In that xyz, if I'll put the coordinate, then that will give me the length at the particular coordinate, perpendicular length at the particular coordinate. I hope it's clear. Now we'll go for a quantity called divergence. Okay. So, actually, again, there is a this is what the beauty of not using paid version of Zoom. Okay. क्या दिन आ गए हैं, एरोस्पेस इंजीनियर अम्ब्रेला बना रहे हैं. क्या करेंगे बेटा, देखना एक दिन यही एरोस्पेस इंजीनियर्स ना जैसे बनाएंगे, रॉकेट भी बनाएंगे, बना के भेजेंगे. मेरी स्पेस कंपनी आ रही है ना, तुम ही लोगों को पकड़ेंगे. और किसको पकड़ेंगे फ्री में तो नहीं तुम ही लोगों को पकड़ेंगे ना, फ्री में कौन काम करेगा. इंटर्नशिप के नाम पे तुम ही लोगों को चूसेंगे. चलो काम करो. तुम लोग स्टूडेंट हो के इतना भी नहीं करोगे. चलो 2-2 घंटे सब लोग टाइम दो, करो इंटर्नशिप मेरी कंपनी में. और जब कंपनी सक्सेसफुली लॉन्च कर लेंगे हम लोग, तो फिर तुम लोग बन जाना, कोई बन जाएगा उसका प्रपल्शन डिपार्टमेंट का एचओडी बन जाना, वो जो क्या बोलते हैं, चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर समथिंग समथिंग बोलते हैं ना। हमको तो ये भी नहीं पता है कि कंपनीज में टर्म्स कौन से यूज होते हैं, क्योंकि हम तो कभी कंपनी में काम किए नहीं है, बचपन से पढ़ा रहे हैं। लेकिन अब होगी अपनी कंपनी, बहुत जल्दी होगी अपनी कंपनी। चलो फिर डाइवर्जेंस। अच्छा ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, तुम सीईओ बन जाना, मैनेजमेंट को देख लेना। अभी डाइवर्जेंस देख लेते हैं। ये प्राची तो हमेशा पड़ी रहती है चक्कर में, सर हमको आप वही बना दीजिए, मेन जो सारा पैसा रखते हैं। जो सारा पैसा रखते हैं। ओके, अरे यूट्यूब पे ये वीडियो जाएगी, बकवास नहीं। चलो डाइवर्जेंस। अरे यार ये वीडियो यूट्यूब पे जाएगी और अब क्या क्या इसमें बक रहे थे, पता है हमको ध्यान ही नहीं था, हमको लगा था ये ड्राइव वाली वीडियो है। ओके चलो डाइवर्जेंस करते हैं। अब देखो डाइवर्जेंस का क्या काम है, समझो बात। जैसा कि तुम, सॉरी गाइस, सॉरी आई केम इनटू हिंदी सडनली। ओके, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग ऑफ डाइवर्जेंस। एक्चुअली just now you have understood that what is the role of this grad phi. This grad phi is roughly, you can say, roughly, loosely you say that a scalar is being converted into vector. Not exactly, but roughly you can say like this, right? Because with the help of scalar properties we are converting into vector properties. Divergence is just opposite. There will be a vector property given, like in the previous question scalar was given. This time vector property will be given, and in that property we will understand divergence is there or not, that vector field is divergence free or not. We will understand that. And what is the meaning of divergence? That this thing already we have discussed in nozzle and diffuser portion when I was teaching you gas dynamics, right? Okay, physical fin is not important about divergence. Get my point. You all of you understand what is the meaning of divergence. Now you go for the mathematical meaning of this. So first thing, any vector quantity will be given. Okay, now next, if any vector quantity is given, then with the help of concept of divergence vector, we can convert into scalar. How? Suppose f is any vector quantity given as 2i plus 3j plus 4k. Suppose you just put here 2xi, 3yj and plus 4zk, so that it will be a general format, kind of general format. Now I want to know the divergence. So what will I do? I will do this portion. You see this portion. This is the same del what we were using for grad of phi. This del you do dot product with the vector. Now I am giving you a trick. When you are finding out divergence, so d for divergence and d for dot product. In same way, when I will teach you curl, then cross product will come. C for curl, C for cross product. So currently you do divergence. So this when you will do, then this value we already know. Whenever in physics, math, whenever this part is coming, this del operator, always it holds same value, I dou by dou x, j dou by dou y, k dou by dou z. And then whatever force value is given, that force value you substitute here. Okay, I mean whatever vector is given, not only force, it can be any vector. Substitute here. After that, this bracket you send here, here and here. Then what will happen? These people will do their job. What is their job? Differentiate. So dou by dou x will differentiate this portion, correct? It will give you, this dou by dou x will differentiate, so it will give you 2. It will give you 2, correct? It will give you 2. Now if you will find out, I mean if you will find out this part, it will give you 3. This part will give you 4. So here I am getting कितना ऐड करना है पे इसको, 2 2 3 5 and 4 9. Very slow addition. 9. So this 9 unit is coming. See here, is it coming 0? No. It means what? You have divergence in this. In this vector field you have divergence. Okay, but there are certain examples there you may not have divergence. It means there your answer will come 0. Currently divergence is there, that is 9 unit. Currently in this example divergence is there. Now change the page, take note. If in any question, suppose you are solving the question and you are finding out your divergence of the force or divergence of any field or anything, and if it is coming 0, then you will say that this F is solenoidal, means no divergence. Now we'll go for curl. What is curl? Curl is again very simple. You have a symbol like this. This symbol already we know. This operator is known as del operator, and it has its own value, I dou by dou x plus j something cross. Suppose you are having any field. Always remember, whenever cross is coming into picture or whenever dot is coming into picture, then left side also and right side also you should have vector property. Okay. Yes, Vedant, you will say this, you will also say divergence free means no divergence. Divergence free means no divergence. Okay. So I was saying, if you are finding out curl is based on the cross product. And whenever you have cross product, you already know that cross product is valid only between two vectors. So this guy is already vector because it is containing ijk, and this guy must be vector, then only we can find out curl. One thing is very, very clear. See, come to the basics of physics. We have torque, we have moment, we have torsion. These people are related to any kind of rotation, correct? These people are related to any kind of rotation only. Okay. So actually, yes, Pratik, ask it out. Pratik, not audible properly. Try one more time. Any person is able to listen Pratik? I'm not able to listen him. Anyone? Guys, tick here if you're able to listen. Tick here if you're not able to listen him. I don't know, problems from my side or... Oh, other also not able to listen. Then fine. Pratik, we are not able to listen. Okay. Sure, Pratik. I will explain on WhatsApp call or normal call. Don't worry. Okay, fine. I don't know, your doubt is like, can I go ahead or not? Pratik, can I go ahead? Okay, fine. Then I'm going to start curl. So see guys, when we are bothering about curl, so I missed the point. What point I was explaining? I was explaining this tau, this moment, and this torsion. All these things are related to a physical field of rotation, correct? In same way, I will teach you something. What is the sense of the curl? I will change the page. Suppose, this is very popular example. Suppose there is any river going. Any river. This is any river. So, because you can see, if I will consider this length of the arrow and direction of the arrow for all the river, because I will consider that everywhere river is going with same speed. I will consider like this. So if I'll consider, then I can convert this entire river into mathematical equation. I can convert, but in real life, what happens? In real life, these lines will not be of same length because everywhere velocity is not constant. On this shore and on this shore, you have zero velocity, no slip condition. Here you have no slip condition. We know all these things. And in the mid, we have maximum velocity. So get my point. If the river is flowing, suppose this is this shore and this shore. In between, if the river is flowing, get my point. If the river is flowing, then you cannot, using your human eye, you cannot judge that middle portion is flowing faster. You cannot judge. So you do one thing. Put one very light thermocol round circle here and put one very light thermocol circle here. Then what will happen? This guy will start rotation in this direction and this guy will start rotation in this direction. Why it is happening? Why it is happening? So it is happening because this side you have a stronger velocity as compared to this side. So this side particle is trying to go faster as compared to this side. So that's why here finally we have rotation. Just opposite is happening here. So this will rotate like this. So actually physically when you are seeing from the eyes without putting this thermocol part, you cannot judge rotation is there in the flow or not. Like if you will keep something, rotation is there. So, and this is one example. Another example, we know that if you have a flow, if you have velocity flow, in that your particles are rotating, the alone particle alone, I'm talking about the single molecule is rotating about this axis or not. I mean to say that you have a single particle and suppose the name of the particle is A, B, C, D. Okay, so this single fluid particle is rotating about its axis or not in the flow. It means when particle is here, then A is here, B is here, C is here, D is here. When the particle is here, then A came here, B came here, C came here, D came here, like rotation. So actually why we are using these kind of concepts? They are tools, they are mathematical tools. When you will learn gas dynamics, aerodynamics or related fluid dynamics, so there you will understand like how to use all these things. In university courses, your professors will teach you this very beautifully. They will teach you like, and you will enjoy the university classes like wow. Then if your professor will connect these kind of concepts in the physical behavior. Okay, now you see guys, when we are finding out curl, then one thing is clear, we need the help of this del operator and we put cross and we need a vector field. So when you are finding out the curl, you have two chances. Either you will get some finite answer, non-zero finite answer, non-zero, or you will be getting zero. So if you are getting, yes, you can put vector there. If you are getting this zero, then you will say that irrotational, your field is irrotational. For curl is equal to 0, vector field is irrotational. For curl not is equal to 0, vector field is rotational. Take down. We have done this because aerodynamics is course related to this. That's why I have done that part. Here we are doing this pure mathematics, and thank God you remember that we have done this in aerodynamics. Okay. Now some important point you collect here. I will change the page. Yes, in real life we have rotational flow. Yes, of course. Because viscosity matters, right? Viscosity will create that part. Okay, this is not aerodynamics class, Vedant. We should not go in that way. Otherwise, other students will get bored. Now you see. Because this class is for mechanical and XE and aerospace. So that's why I'm avoiding that part. You go for point 1. Normal to given surface phi. This thing we represent as del phi, or you say grad phi. Now this grad phi, what we have discussed here, it is a vector quantity. Just now we have discovered this. Okay. So your second point, you will write that this vector quantity can also have its own direction, right? So unit normal vector, how will you calculate? That is very easy. Just now I have taught you. A vector quantity given surface phi, unit normal vector, you give the symbol as n cap. How will you calculate that n cap? This vector phi and the mod of this vector, that you say modulus or magnitude, whatever. Okay, now you see. Now one very important point, that point will give you idea of tangent. Suppose if your r which is the function of t is any curve which is vector curve, is vector curve, then dr cap dr vector divided by dt will be tangent vector. This is a new thing here, right? This will be a tangent vector. Now if this is the tangent vector, then this r is actually very worldwide popular object. This r is nothing but xi plus yj plus zk. This is your r value, okay? Always put cap xi plus yj plus zk. So this dr by dt will be, I'll change the page. So this dr by dt, this is a vector. This will be what? This will be dx by dti plus dy will be dtj plus dz by dtk. Okay, now after this you will go to vector calculus drive, and on the drive you will solve all the numericals. Yes, Pratik, take down. Go to drive, solve all the vector calculus questions whatever I have given, and then in doubt session ask your doubts. Already solutions are there, so it will not be difficult for you. Some examples already I'm taking in the class, no problem. Surface. Done. Okay. So see here, just go with dr by dt. This is your equation for dr by dt. Now there is another type of concept that is known as directional derivative. What is directional derivative? I will explain. Yes, Pratik, I was on previous page only. You only said, na, go back. Done. Take down. Take down. Pratik, are you there? Okay. So now we'll go for directional derivative. Let's understand the logic of directional derivative. What is directional derivative? Suppose you have any vector A and this is having a particular direction, you can see on the screen. Suppose you have another vector B also. This is also having its own direction. Now I want to find out directional derivative. Directional derivative means A dot B cap or B dot A cap. What is the meaning of this? This means you are going to find out dot product of vector A, but you are choosing in which direction? Direction B. With direction B. And here just opposite. Vector B, you are going to do dot product with direction of A, that is unit vector. Unit vector of A is also vector, unit vector of B is also vector, so we can do dot product, no problem. So this property and this property, so you just introduce this property. This property is known as directional. I will explain, Vedant. So just you note down this paragraph. I will explain again. Directional derivative of one vector. Suddenly my neighbors are shouting. Directional derivative of one vector A into directional into direction of another vector b is a dot b, vector a dot b unit. So see, concept is very simple. Any vector a will be given and you have to find out directional derivative of vector a in the direction of vector b. So how will you find out? Direction of b you calculate using the concept of b cap, and then once you got the b cap, then do dot product of this vector a and b cap. Simple. We'll do one example. Okay, take one example. Question. Find out directional derivative of a is equal to 2i minus j in the direction of b is equal to I plus j minus k. So you see there are two vectors, so you have to be very careful. In the direction of b, so you have to find out direction of b. It means b cap is the same thing, direction of b. So this b cap is nothing but b vector divided by modulus of the vector, mod of the vector, magnitude of the vector, value of the vector, right? So this b, I plus j minus k, put cap cap cap, divide by magnitude will be under root 3, correct? Okay. So this new quantity what you have got, this total is known as direction of b, or you can say directional vector. Okay. Now you see this a, you have to do dot product with this guy. So directional derivative a dot b cap is equal to, write down write down 2i minus j and bracket this guy. After that what will you do? I will explain here. We can just take first 1 by root 3 common, and after that you see here this 2 you will multiply with I, so you will be getting 2, and this minus 1 you will multiply with plus j plus 1, so you will be getting minus 1, and there is no k here, so k part you leave, so you will be getting 1 by root 3. Very good, Vedant. Now we'll do some questions so that you'll be comfortable with this. Now I will give you one question. What I didn't get you. Ask again. Pratik, this is the answer. I have done dot product, right, of these two, this guy and this guy. Simply you do dot product. No, actually, see, we are taking dot product. Vector A is this, right, and vector B is this. So 1 by root 3 was here, so I took out, no problem. After that, coefficient of I and coefficient of I multiplied, then coefficient of j and coefficient of j multiplied here. Clear? Okay. Now I'll change the page. See here. See the question. Suppose you have phi is equal to x cube plus y cube plus 3xy z, and find out normal vector to the surface of phi at 1, 2, minus 1, and plus 3 also you write here. So how will you calculate this? So to calculate this, you check out. They are asking normal vector. Normal vector means this is, you can see ijk is not here. Ijk is not here, so it is scalar field. So you have to find out del phi, that will be normal vector. Solution. find out this del phi, or you say grad phi. So that will be nothing but see, I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z, and in next bracket x cube plus y cube plus 3xyz plus 3. What is your next approach? You send this bracket, multiply here, here and here. So you see, I will come as it is. This dou by dou x will differentiate this guy, it will be 3x square, and here also differentiation plus 3yz. Correct? In same way, j will come, and in j also 3y square plus 3xz, and plus k will come, and in k 0 0 3yz. Okay, so this total whatever you have got, this is the vector phi, grad del phi. But problem is, this is a generalized form, but we have to find the vector at a location 1 2 1. So substitute here 1 2 1, like x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, and z is equal to minus 1. After substituting that, you should get this as minus I plus 3j plus 2k. This should be your grad phi vector. And now they are asking normal vector. So if you are looking for the normal vector, then you should go for n cap. You got the phi vector, now you have to find out the normal vector. Normal vector means n cap. You find out n cap. I'll change the page. You find out n cap. So this n cap is nothing but this phi divided by grad phi. So this is nothing but minus I plus 3j plus 2k divided by under root 14. This will be your n cap value. So here you understand one thing. On the surface, suppose this is your surface. On this surface, where is the direction of this phi? This is in this direction. How will you know? Because direction you can clearly see here. In this direction we have grad phi. Already I have explained, right, that grad phi is perpendicular to the surface. No doubt in that. Clear? Okay. Now I will explain one more question. Suppose question is find a directional derivative. You remember what is directional derivative? Just now we have done. Find directional derivative of any f function which is given as x square minus y square plus 2z square. This is 2z square at point P. Location is given 1 2 3. Location, coordinate, these are the same thing. In the direction of PQ, if Q is having coordinate of 5 0 4. Okay, now you see this 5 0 4 coordinate is Q value and 1 2 3 coordinate is P value. Get the logic here. If you want to discuss directional derivative, you should have two vectors. But we are given with only one vector. That is this vector. Read the question, feel the question. Find directional derivative of this. So f is given at point P. So this point P is given in the direction of PQ. It means what? Here PQ is another vector. This is f is a vector and PQ is another vector. In this P is here and Q is here. Correct? It means what? Now we should know if the coordinate of one point is given and coordinate of another point is given, then with the help of coordinates, how will you achieve the vector quantity? Okay, so that will be your next vector. So this will behave like vector A, this will behave like vector B, and you have to find out vector A dot B cap. Okay, I will change the page. So what is our duty? Suppose there is a concept. Suppose if you have a vector like Suppose you have one point here, and at this point your coordinates are x1, y1, z1, and at this point you have coordinates like x2, y2, z2. Then if you are looking for this vector, and this vector you are saying as pq vector, then you should write like this: vector pq is nothing but oq minus op. Now what is oq, op? Actually these points you have to connect from the o means origin. So one is this vector and one is this vector. Now you see we have triangle here. In this triangle, this location is o location, this is p location, this is q location. So now you see from the triangle, what you are looking, you are seeing that if you are adding op with pq, then you are getting oq, correct? So if you want to find out pq, you just send op right side, so oq vector minus op vector. Excuse me. See this here. We got our PQ, and PQ, how will you find out? Subtract both the vectors. I explained here how. Okay. So this OQ value is nothing but this 0, 0, 0, right? So you will do like this: x2 minus 0, y2 minus 0, and sorry, you should write like this directly because we know 0. So you write x2, and here you have OP, right? OP value is, you write x2i plus y2j plus z2k minus I x1, then minus jy1, then minus k z1, then you take common. So x2 minus x1i plus y2 minus y1j plus k2, plus z2 minus z1k. So now see here, this is how we convert any two given points into vector. So simply you subtract, and you also keep in mind which vector you are looking for. You are looking for PQ or you are looking for QP. Here you should not have mistake. I am looking for PQ, so I am subtracting Q minus P. Opposite I am subtracting. You can see here OP minus OQ. And how I am getting, I have explained here. Okay, I will change the page. So you first find out your PQ vector. This PQ vector will be nothing but 5 minus 1 I plus 0 minus 2 j plus 4 minus 3 k. So put cap here. So this will look like 4i minus 2j plus k. And then you got your PQ vector properly. So this PQ vector I am considering as vector B. So if I'll be going for B cap, so this is nothing but vector B divided by vector, the value of the vector. So that is nothing but 4i minus 2j plus k divided by under root 4 square plus minus 2 square and plus 1 square. Something will come here. That thing, I don't know what thing will come here. Then after that, what you have to do, the vector what is given, that was given as f, right? So this f vector you consider as vector A. So that is nothing but sorry, f vector was not given, f field was given. F field was given. So f field we have to convert into vector f. Yes. So that f field was given. So first you convert into vector f. So another job is you calculate this. So when you calculate this, you'll be getting next vector. So whatever answer will come, that answer you will consider as A. Then in the last, after getting A, you take this A here and then put dot and you take this B cap here. So this total answer will give you the directional derivative. And always remember, directional derivative is the final answer in vector format. Okay, it is in the vector format because we achieve this by doing a scalar product. I think I just blabbered something very wrong, right? I think I blabbered something very wrong. When you find out directional derivative, it is always a scalar quantity. It is always a scalar quantity because we find them using dot product. Dot product is scalar product, right? Okay. Okay, there are so many examples and questions. You go to the drive and you solve them. Now I will give you something, some like 5 points are there. Those 4 5 points you have to remember. Like if you are finding out divergence of gradient of divergence, some properties are there. In vector also some properties are there. So those properties also you take down. I will change the page. Those properties are very very important. This was the first page. So in vectors, I will just keep on writing the property. So property is, see, dot product. If you are doing dot product with two vectors, a dot b and b dot a, this is correct. We can do this because final answer is scalar answer. And whenever you are doing vector property with same vector property, the answer will be either 0 or greater or equal to 0. Okay. Now third property. If you are doing so see, when 0 will come, 0, if your vector is equal to 0, then only 0 will come. Okay, next part. If you have any vector a, and this vector a you want to multiply with vector b plus vector c, so outside you cannot have some simple multiplication. Outside you have to make sure either you have dot here or you have cross here. Okay, so I am using dot here. So in that case, simply you can take dot product with b also and with c also, like a dot b also plus a dot c also. We can do this, no problem in this. And order can also be changed using this property, because in dot we have no problem. Yes, very good. Now you see, we know that what is the meaning of this. This is nothing but ab cos theta, and this is nothing but ac cos some, you can put some other number, whatever angle will be given. We know this. Simply I am saying this. Now this till here it is comfortable. Now two important properties are there. You should understand those properties. Suppose you have any vector a and you did dot product with vector b. So of course that is going to give you scalar quantity, right? So that scalar quantity, if you bother about the magnitude of that, so that will be either less is equal to separate values, multiplication of separate values. Okay, now another property, if you have vector a plus vector b, then it will always be less than, again, separate if you're adding this. These are the very simple properties. Actually, if the question is coming, you can consider any. Suppose you are not able to get which one is correct, which one is wrong. So in GATE exam, how will you tackle this? Very simple. Take one example from yourself, made from your side. A is equal to I plus j you make, and b is equal to 2i plus 3j you make, or more simple. Okay, and solve them, and then you can check which option is correct. In future, if you are forgetting in GATE exam, if you are not able to recall, then this is the way you have to find out. Okay, that's all. Cross product over, dot product over, and I explained how to take cross product also. I also explained about the unit vector, all these things over, and I also explained the like how to take magnitude and some. But there are yes, ask your doubt. That is about to, that yes, that is about to come. That is vector integration. What happened here? Okay guys, so the next is about to come, that is we have to enter to the vector integration now. This is next topic, vector integration. Now in this vector integration we have line integration, surface integration, volume integration, and convergence of one integration into other integration with the help of some theorems like Stokes theorems, for example, right? So we'll take that one. So first of all we will take line integration. So line integration is actually somewhat lengthy. If they're asking line integration in GATE exam, it will be lengthy, but because it is in the syllabus, just go with the vector calculus, vector integration. So first we go for line integration. Okay, now in line integration, suppose there is any vector given f is equal to f1 in I direction, f2 in j direction, f3 in k direction, and your position vector r is always position vector because it contains x, y, z locations, so that is the coordinate of any point. So r will be given as xi plus yj. Whenever r is coming in the mathematics, it means it is xi plus yj plus zk, always it is a fixed. Okay, and this r, when we convert into dr, then this is also vector. We can write as dxi plus dyj plus dzk. So copy down these three. Now two types of questions they may ask. One is point to point, and one curve will be given like that. That kind of questions they can ask. So I will change the page. It's better you can write here. Most probably, you just write here, most probably two types of questions can be asked. Now let's understand what are those two types. So we simply dr, this is dr. Take down. Done. Okay. See, first, point to point. What does it mean? Like for example, if any coordinate is given as 0, 0, 1, 2, 0, 0, 4, right? And next one, curve will be given. Means there will be a function given like in terms of x, y, z. Okay, and further this like x, y, z will be the function of t. These kind of two possibilities are there. So if they are asking point to point, then for the point to point you will use integration cycle here or curve here, f dot dr, curve f dot dr. F dot dr is equal to, on the same curve you will go for f1 dx, plus for the same curve you will go for f2 dy. This, for the same curve you will go for f3 dz. I will explain what is the meaning. Yes, that will be there. And if this is given, curve will be given, in that case your equation will be little bit bigger, f dot dr. Actually we have to remember this. For the same curve we have to express like this: integration for the same curve, bracket f1 dx by dt plus f2 dy by dt plus f3 dz by dt, and here dt, right? Copy down these two equations. Then we'll take one example, and then it will be very comfortable. Copy it, done. Yes, that vector part you guys take care, no problem. No, actually this is what I'm writing here. This is not vector, that is the coefficient. Coefficient is not vector. Here it is correct, here it is correct, here it is correct, here it is correct. Right side it will not be vector. They are just coefficients. So I'm erasing. I'll change the page. One question will solve. Suppose question, evaluate vector f is equal to bracket 2y plus 3 plus xz j plus yz minus x k, where C is question 1. Curve as x is equal to 2t square, y is equal to t, z is equal to t cube, going 000 to 211. Second, the first line going to 0 0 0, going 0 0 0 to 0 1 1, sorry, 0 0 1, then it is going 0 1 1, then it is going 2 1 1. So if this kind of question is given, so the first origin you will consider as 0, the next point consider as A, the next point consider as B, and the next point consider as C. So that will be the curve. I'll change the page. Copy down, then I'll change the page. This is the question. And then you will see question is actually very easy. Done guys, I'll change the page. Okay, now you see, we'll go for solution. See, we know the formula, so you go for the formula curve f dr. These two vectors are there. Now I am choosing the first one where the curve is given, means the surface is given. So in that put the c value, and then what is your job? You have to substitute entire f1. That entire f1 is nothing but the given x, this value, bracket 2y plus 3 4t, plus then it will be x z into t into 1, then it will be y z minus x 3t square dt. Okay, this part is clear. How am I writing this? This is your f1 value, this is your f2 value, this is your f3 value. After that you have dx by dt, dy by dt, and dz by dt. So this x value is given as 2t square. So differentiate this, you will be getting dx by dt. Put here. This y value is given as t. So differentiate this, then you will be getting dy by dt. Z value is given as t cube. So differentiate this, you will be getting this. Clear. After this you can see our entire equation got converted into y form, x form, z form, y, z, x, but outside you have t here and outside you have t here, and main logic is you have to integrate for dt. So if you have to integrate for dt, then what will you do? So concept is very easy. Everywhere already you know x value, y value, z value in terms of t, right? 2t square, t, and t cube. So wherever you have x, y, z, there you substitute all the value in terms of t. After that you integrate. So your new equation will look like integration 2t plus 3 4t plus 2t power 5 plus bracket t power 4 minus 2t square 3t square bracket close dt. Now you see you integrate. But now question is, what about the limit? How to understand the limit? So because here we have curve, so from where to where you have to, because see, for which we are going for the limit, we are going for the limit of t. So in the question where we have variation in t, you have to check. So very small trick, actually these kind of questions will be tricky. Very small trick is, y value is exactly equal to t, so the coordinate variation in the y will be the coordinate variation in t, correct? So you can see your y is changing from where to where. In the curve equation, you go where the first question is given. In that question, you can see your point is changing 0, 0, 0 to 2, 1, 1, correct? So I will show you where I am saying. I am saying here, this y is changing to 1. So that will be your limit of t. So in this equation, you will put 0 to 1 and then add properly, multiply properly, and then finally integrate. So you'll be getting your answer. That's all. This is how you have to. See, the question is lengthy, but concept is very easy how to do. Now there is another way, using the first formula we can do this, but actually the first formula is very lengthy. So I am not expecting that they will ask in the gate exam, because it is very lengthy. So I am skipping the first that formula where we have to use the point to point, point to point, point to point variation, because for every line we have to solve. So we can skip that, because that will be very lengthy. Very lengthy means it will take minimum 3 pages. So that's all, that leave that page. Only this kind of question will come. You should approach this thing. Okay. And otherwise question will be very lengthy. And I'm not expecting that. So in this line integral, if you are doing this much, it is sufficient. And remaining questions you do from the drive, solution is there. Now we can go for another example. There we learn surface integral. I'll change the page. Go for heading, surface integral. Now in surface integral, what will you do? Double integration f dot n dot ds. Now this is the symbol for surface integration. We'll take one question and with that we'll solve. Question is, double integration, put here s. This time this s will represent a surface. Vector f n ds. Where this f is equal to 4xz I cap minus y square j cap plus yz k cap, and s is surface of bounded cube by x, y, z greater than 0 and greater is equal to 0, less is equal to 1. Now see, there is a conventional method to solve surface integration. In the conventional method, what do? We choose 6 faces of the cube, because this is bounded by the cube. So in the cube we have 6 faces. So conventional method is, we go and we integrate for every face, and it is very lengthy. So just to avoid this question using by conventional method, we go for a very strong theorem, very good theorem, that is known as Gauss divergence theorem. Whenever surface integral questions are coming, you don't solve in this way, what is our regular university way. You should apply Gauss divergence theorem. So you just make one small note, so it will be comfortable for you. Surface integral problems, you just put note here. Don't solve by regular conventional method. Use Gauss divergence theorem. So Gauss divergence theorem will help you to convert surface integral into volume integral, and your question will be very easy. So let's understand what is Gauss divergence theorem first. I will change the page. Now here you are understanding what is the use of Gauss divergence theorem, right? Gauss divergence theorem. Actually what happens, you will be given with a cyclic closed surface. So that f, n and ds is there. So what is your job? You will convert this guy into volume integral. It means 3 volume integral will come, and this f, you will use this f and you will convert into this f. Okay, you know how to convert this. And after that, into you will put dv. dv means volume integral. Actually what is happening here, there are 3 changes we are making. Close interval, close, will convert into open interval, open integration. And second change, you see, your f is converting into this f. And third change, you see, your ds is converting into dv. So we will solve the above question with this. In the above question, your f was given as 4xzi minus y square j plus yzk. So for this equation, yzk, for this equation, I will find out this. How do I find out this? You know the procedure. Differentiate this part for z, differentiate this for x, and then differentiate this for y, and then differentiate. That is just a, this is just a direction. So direction unit vector will go 1 when we convert into this dv. So no problem. This n will go 1. Okay. So see here, when you will find out this, so it will be like 4z will be remaining. Okay. And here it will be minus 2y, and here it will be plus y. So this is the final answer, and I am getting as 4z minus y. Okay. Now this 4z minus y, I will substitute in this equation, because I am applying Gauss divergence theorem to solve same surface integral, but using this theorem. Okay, I will change the page now. See here. So your triple integration, that is volume integration, this into dv. Now you will put like 4z minus, you will put 4z minus y, and this dv, you know what is dv? dv is nothing but dx, dy and dz. So for every x, y, z, you should give limits. So that is already given, that x, y, z, they all are more than 0 and less than 1. So we have a surface which is bounded by the cube. So this is giving idea that x is also changing from 0 to 1, y is also changing from 0 to 1, and z is also changing from 0 to 1. Okay, so you remove this dv and you put this dx, dy, dz. So I am doing that. You can see here 3 different integrations are there: dx, dy and dz. Now which integration we have to perform first? So how will you understand which we have to perform first? So in this bracket you have z and y. So y and z you perform, okay, with the limit of y and z, and remaining x you perform separately with its integration. So when you will integrate dx, it will come as integration x 0 to 1, and when you will perform for dy and dz in the same bracket, z will be like 4z square by 2, so from 0 to 1, and there is no y, so y will come when you will integrate, and then minus this y will become y is square by 2, and there is no z, so it will be z 0 to 1. Okay, put the bracket like this, and when you will solve this, it will come as 3 by 2. So this is how we have to do surface integration. So surface integration question when will come? Convert Gauss divergence theorem, convert into vector integration. We'll do one more question based on this. Yes, I'll change the page. Take down Pratik. What is the doubt here? Done. Because even f is having ijk and this grad is also having ijk. Okay. Pratik, clear? हाँ. Okay, I am going back. Okay, वैनिश हो जाती है, 1 हो जाती है. Okay. y से correct. हाँ, that is the scene. Because we have grad f na, and this grad f means there is no cross here, so you will simple consider the dot one. Okay. Vedant, triple integration I will explain. See, nothing. We don't have dx part, so dx you separate here with integration, and we have the bracket here. In the bracket you have this part, so this part will also you have to integrate for dy dz, and this part also you have to integrate for dy dz. So integrated here and here. Ask your doubt. But here it is the multiplication of both. Here that concept is not coming. Are you getting? Here it is simply showing that okay, we have multiplied this in scalar form. Okay. Now we'll take one more question, and very good question, easy question. You can solve that question. I will change the page. Limit part is actually important. Every time we should know the limit. Take down this. Suppose the question is coming as, नहीं समझ आया? ओके, ऐसा करते हैं, क्लास के बाद हम एक्सप्लेन करते हैं, ठीक है? क्लास पर एक्सप्लेन करते हैं. हाँ, ओके. सपोज यू हैव वन मोर क्वेश्चन विल डू. Surface integration r cap r vector r and then n dot ds. Suppose this is the symbol for surface integration where s is closed surface and sphere is given as x square plus y square plus z square is equal to a square, and we have to find out the integration. Then how can we find out integration? So see, don't solve this integration, you only go for Gauss divergence theorem. So in Gauss divergence theorem, this r you have to convert into this r. This is the first change. Okay, so you find out this value. So only I coefficient of this and this you multiply together and you do the differentiation. So always remember the value of r. Value of r is always, I told you, always it is xi plus yj plus zk. It is always a pit value. Okay, ijk. So when you will do like this, then what will be your r value? It will be 1 plus 1 plus 1, correct? It is equal to 3. This will be this value, 3. So in case of triple integration volume, here you have to put r into dv. Now see how easy this question is. It looks dangerous, but it is actually very easy. Very easy. Now you see, this r we have got as 3. And guys, what is this? dv is representing the integration. Integration of what? Integration of closed surface. This is sphere. So, you know, actually only that student can understand what is this, who has done the geometry part. Actually, this is the equation of a sphere with radius a. With radius a, okay? This is the equation of a sphere. So, whenever this dv will give you direct answer for the volume. Direct answer for the volume. And that is nothing but 4 by 3 pi a cube. That's all equation done. So, 4 pi a cube. You see, if you know Gauss divergence, easily we got here. Because this remaining symbol is giving you idea that you have to integrate the volume. So either you integrate the volume or you directly mug up the formula of sphere volume. You will be getting same answer. Okay. Now there is something called Green's theorem. We'll understand Green's theorem. We are remaining with the Green's theorem and Stokes theorem. Yes, ask your doubt. Which part? Oh, I'll explain. This is easy. I think Pratik, you are lagging with some very important concept. That's why you are not able to understand these 2 points in the. Okay, see what is this. See, I'll explain. In last class also you were confused with this f. Here also you are confused with this r. I will explain what is this. Very easy. This value, you know, I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z, correct? And this value is nothing but xi plus yj plus zk. So that's what I'm saying. This is a simple dot product, simple dot product. So this guy you multiply only with this. So this dx x, I mean dou by dou x of x, it is 1. So dou by dou y of y is 1 and dou by dou x of this 1, right? Okay. Yeah. I'm shouting on this. R की value constant होती है. The value of R is always constant. Always constant. R value constant, dr value is also constant. Both the values I have given in the previous lecture, they both are constant. Yes. This is just a given equation, not for R. This is just a given equation for the surface about which we have to do integration. This surface here. This surface we have written here, na? That surface equation. Okay. In the previous equation also you had the force equation. In that force equation, that was the example where we considered that as a curve. But that curve was given for R. Here in the question F is not given. Here in the question R is given. See here this ds is, are you seeing this ds? This ds is this s. So if any closed curve is given, that is this sphere. In the previous question, they did not talk about sphere. They said in the line that we have a bounded cube. So in the previous question, we had cube. So we used the limit of cube, right? Okay. So that was f was r that time. No, sorry, this time that f is this r. So this r value is permanent value. Okay. Okay guys, so we are remaining with Green's theorem, Stokes theorem. So these two we'll do in next class. We'll stop today.